There we go. Finally going through. It was buffering there for a while. Just wait a second or two, and then I'll get started. All right. So another really, really bad loss. I think losing to expansion team is never good. Even with Atlanta coming out strong their first year and their expansion year, I think that's a one-off where you're going against a team capable of not having the quote-unquote expansion team title, where they don't look like your typical expansion team, but this FC Dallas team or FC Austin team is your average typical expansion team. There's really nothing too flary, nothing too special. They're definitely not like how we were when we came into the MLS. We were abysmal, but they're nothing we should be losing to at home. Especially starting out 3-0, this is our third loss, and 0-3 in the season is never a good way to start. I thought Reynoso even looked a bit off it today, but he was unfortunate to hit the post. I think our whole back line looks like a shell of our former defensive structure. I think Boxall has to do way too much sometimes, stepping up in the box and controlling some defense. But I do think Yaka did look a bit more comfortable tonight. But I don't think the defense particular was the reason we lost. I mean, we can't lose. Montier has to deal with that ball, and we can't give up a goal. We gave up a really easy goal, but we have to find a goal scorer. We have to start scoring goals because we are aimlessly shooting at the net, not putting anything on target, and just putting shots up and over into the wonder wall and over into the beer hall. And it's the lack of creativity in the final third. We just aimlessly cross the ball in at some points, and we just our whole attack needs to wake up and do something. We need to pressure goalies. We don't pressure goalies enough. We get all the way to the final third, and then we just cross it every single time. We don't do anything special. We don't. It's like we don't want to score. We're just gonna cross it and hope we get in the back of net. We don't. Our attack needs a lot of work. We need to challenge the goalie. We need to be a lot more clinical, and we need to find that pass in the final third that's going to get the job done and to score more goals, because we don't put the ball on target, and we only have one goal in 3 games, I believe. so not too good. And I think Abela looked a bit out of it today, and I wish and he needed to move around more, be harder to guard from the center backs, but at the end of the day, we didn't have the ball much when he was on the pitch. Austin FC had the ball way more than we did at that point, and there wasn't much for them to work much. He didn't have much to work with. I thought Dotson played really well today, but yeah, Reynoso just wasn't on it, and like I said last couple streams, Finley, you know exactly what you're gonna get out of Finley every single week. He's just gonna run his head off, work hard, and you don't really know if he's gonna have the touch to get shots off, be creative in the box, because there's a lot of times he's tripping over himself, and this wasn't Finley's fault by any means that we lose this game, but I think you just know exactly what you get out of Ethan Finley every game, and with Ludd being out, I don't mind him starting, but it's kind of just what we saw out of him today, you know, just a typical Ethan Finley performance. And I almost want to say he didn't almost look like he wore his heart on his sleeve like he has been in the past. But I think Ozzy and Will Trapp in the middle, it was all right, but I want to see Will Trapp make. There was a couple times where I didn't like where we'd have the ball on the final third and just pass it back and kind of reset and switch the play a little bit in the Volmaro in their final third, but just switch it to get across in. But when Will could have turned around and maybe played a through ball to a forward or something, just something a little bit more dangerous than just a cross, you know, because it clearly wasn't working all night. And it's not like we have Peter Crouch sitting there or anyone. Yeah. Gasper definitely played better than he did before the game before, but wasn't particularly great. Our whole team, I don't think, was particularly great. Austin FC looked pretty dangerous at points. They hit the posts. We were lucky that did not go in. Especially at the end, we looked pretty open. Yaka Ritekala, I'm going to mess up his last name every time, but I thought he, like I said earlier, he played a lot more calm today. Thought he played all right. Boxall played outstanding, I thought, for what he brings to the table. Roman Montier, he had a couple really good highlight plays, dribbling into the box, but just didn't quite finish the pass off or quite get that final ball in. But he was probably to blame for the goal. We should have been able to deal with it, I think. We shouldn't have allowed the cross to come through, but Roman's got to be there. So for what he did after that, it's just that one mistake where he doesn't mark his man, and that they have a free tap in at the back post, basically. It's unfortunate, but that's going to decide the game for sure, because we lose 1-0. But St. Clair, in that, there's a couple shaky moments. I think he's got a lot of raw talent. He looks really good at times, and then there's times in the games where he comes off his line. He's not too sure of himself, but I think that will just come with more experience and time. He's a young goalie. I really like the kid, and I hope he continues to start and play well, because I think he could definitely be the future, and potentially one day might be the Canadian National League goalie. But Adrian made a lot of subs. I do give him credit for making some early subs today, which I think was definitely necessary because we looked so lackluster. And there were a few players that played well. I'm going to go into just player ratings quick of the team. St. Clair, Um, 8 out of 10. Montier, a 6 out of 10. Boxall, an 8 out of 10. Retkala Yaka, a 7 out of 10. Gasper, a 6 out of 10. Will Trapp, a 7 out of 10. Ozzy, a 7 out of 10. Ethan Finley, a 5 out of 10. Manuel Reynoso, a 6 out of 10 only for hitting the post. Dotson, 8.5. I think Dotson was my best player tonight, and I'll be my man of the match, even though we shouldn't get one for losing. Abela, I'm going to have to give him a 5 out of 10. I thought he was really poor tonight. He didn't offer very much. I thought, I know he's not fully fit, so I hope things change. Justin McMaster, 6.5 out of 10. Or actually, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Foster Lansdorf, a 6.5 out of 10. Jan Gregus, 6.5 out of 10. Patrick Weah was subbed on at the end of the game in the 81st minute, got a nice cameo, and I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. I thought he played extremely well, and I really hope to see more of this kid this year. He'll be, in the coming years, he'll be necessary for improving the team and or maybe even moving him on and making some income for the club, because he's a real talent that we're lucky enough to have, I think. But overall, poor performance. We need to definitely challenge the goalkeeper more, and we just need to find goals in the team. Set pieces, corners. We just need to start finding some goals. And if we don't, it's going to be a long season. Good thing we got some reinforcements coming in. Guys just hopefully can get match fitness, and hopefully the team will turn it around, but you never know. I have faith in them, but hopefully things turn for the better, because can't get much worse right now. We're 0-3, but I'm going to end it there. So thanks for stopping by, and as always, come on, you loons.